Hey, we here. We here. Shout out to Amika J for Rush, our soundtrack. How you doing, girl?
I'm grooving. I'm
I'm
grooving.
grooving with you. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey,
We
girl.
are
Hey.
we're
Mm.
back. We're back. Welcome to Real Women Real Talk. This is episode 6. Wow. We on the other hand now. I'm so happy. My name is Trenace Richardson. I am one of the co-hosts, and I am also the founder of Real Women. And who are you, sister?
I am the Shavon Carter, another
Yes.
co-host and dynamic facilitator for Real Women.
Hey, yes, you are. Yes, Miss Carter. Love it. Y'all, welcome. We are so glad to be here. We had some technical stuff going on, and we're just glad to be here. How about that? Glad to hear
Right.
y'all and for y'all to hear us. And we are real women, real talk. This is our opportunity to have real, honest dialogue about topics that matter to us as women. And we really give you a sneak peek into what Real Women is all about. Shout out to Real Women, all of the women who are connected with us either virtually or in our in-person sister circles. We meet to create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. And we just kind of give you, because those circles stay closed, the people who are there get to experience them. We wanted to give you a sneak peek. So we extend our circle out to you. Welcome. And
Hello.
sister, what are we hoping that they get from out of this time with us?
So we hope from this time with us that you feel enlightened, that you feel understood, entertained, and at some point you just feel like, you know what, they get me. I need to go
Mhm.
visit the circle. What is Real
Mhm.
Women all about? So yeah, that's what we want you to get from this conversation.
Yes, we get you. We see you. Yes, because
Mhm.
we are you. You are not just your sister's keeper. You are your sister.
Yes.
Oh, girl, it's been so much going on. We have segments, y'all, and so we just want to start off with real talk. Why else would we do anything else? It's real women, real talk. So,
Yep.
real talk. How you doing over there, sister?
Okay.
Oh my.
I'm coming down from seeing Usher, sister.
Usher, Usher, Usher.
Usher. So I went to Vegas recently to see Usher, and
Mhm.
he gave exactly what I thought he was going to give. The concert was amazing. He is
Mm,
the ultimate performer. He's
mhm.
such a crowd pleaser. He is smooth on the skates,
Mm.
flowing like butter
Hey.
on those skates. I had such a great time. So shout out to Usher and his residency, which I think is ending the end of October. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah,
I was gonna ask you about that. I thought it was November, but oh, October's
yeah,
right around the corner. The end
yeah.
of it anyway. So
Uh-huh.
yeah. Well, good. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you enjoyed yourself. Were you just screaming and having a good time singing along? I love it.
Yes, yes. It was like a big party. So I had a great
Yeah.
yeah.
Good, good. Well, Las Vegas is a big party city, so you were supposed to have a good time. Well, can
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I have had a really full, meaningful week since a little over 2 weeks because we haven't taped in a while. So I've
Mm-hmm.
had a full couple of weeks because I did a social media fast.
Ooh, tell us all about it.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness, there is so much to tell. I will do my best to kind of condense it, but I just felt led. Nothing happened. Nobody got crazy on social media. I
Mhm.
just really noticed how much time I spent scrolling. And some of it I have to be on. I feel like I have to be on for business purposes.
Okay.
It's smart to be on for business purposes. And
Mhm.
so I do some of that, which is necessary. But you end up creeping and looking and going here and going there. And it was taking up too many of my minutes.
Gotcha.
And I'm on this journey to 50. I think at the taping of this, it's 239 days until I turn 50. I'm counting like that.
Oh.
I'm loving it because it's making me focus on me. I love doing it like this. But in doing so, I'm trying to think about all of the ways I want to improve and grow. It feels very milestone-ish to me right now. So
Yeah.
social media was one place I've always wanted to do a pause or a fast. We have sisters who have done it and it has been beneficial to them. And I just decided, I kept saying at the beginning of the year or closer to the end of the year. And one day I just woke up and I was like, I'm not going on today. And
Nice.
I will only give myself today and then see how I feel tomorrow. And it turned into a little over a week. And then after that, it felt so good. I hope those of you who are listening, please let me know if you've ever done this. Put it in the comments. Send us an email at info@realwomenrock.org because I would love to kind of vibe with a couple of people who have done this. But I can't even describe how freeing it was, not just of my time, but of my mental space. Like it
Mm.
just felt like I had more breathing room. I don't know
Mhm.
how else to describe it. Just knowing, and I would the ghost reaction is I would go to my phone and then I'd be like, oh no, I'm not doing that. It was wonderful. But
Oh.
what I wanted to do before I came back to it was I wanted to unfollow everyone that I was following so that
Mhm.
when I went back to it, I would only see my posts and that's it. I
Yeah.
wouldn't, if I lurked, I would have to be really intentional about going and scrolling.
Mhm.
Um, and that has been the hardest thing for me to do. So here's my real talk. Real
Okay.
talk.
Real talk.
Facebook is trying to keep me. It's trying to. I'm telling. It's got a hold on me and it won't let me go because
Yep.
I have paid somebody from Fiverr to remove everybody that I'm following.
Even on
He has
Facebook?
done, yes, on Facebook. I
Okay.
have done that, and I was following maybe almost 2,000 people, 1,000 people. He went
Uh-huh.
through and did it really inexpensively. Go to Fiverr.com, and so I did that. He got down as low as he could, and he got rid of all of the ones I was following, and it was still 203 followers.
Dang.
So then he was like, I read some and he read some, and we figured out that some people that you friend, you automatically follow.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'm gonna suck it up. I got almost 7,000 followers, but I'm gonna just go ahead, go into my friends, unfollow the ones that I'm following because I'm serious about this. I don't want anything on my feed.
Uh-huh.
I done gone down from 7,000 followers to 3,000 followers, and I still have 203 people that I'm following.
Come
Facebook, what y'all
on.
doing? What y'all doing and why
Right.
you doing it? That's what I want to
Right.
know. Why? Why?
Right.
So I haven't figured it out. So if anybody knows, that's my real talk. If anybody knows how to get Facebook to let me go, unless because I'm gonna deactivate it one day. I'm just tired of it. Because I feel like they're manipulating me in some way now because I can't figure out how to get rid of these. They're nowhere. I can't find them anywhere. I'm not following anybody anywhere, but I still have showing 203 followers.
That
I'm
is
following. It's crazy.
crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's my real talk. I'm doing fine, but the social media fast has been wonderful. I'm
Mhm.
coming back from off of it and can't figure out how to get that done. So I'm working on it.
Ah, I love that you went on the fast. I've
Mhm,
done it maybe a few years ago, and I think I
mhm.
did 30 days off.
Mm,
And I get what you're saying. Like it's so freeing, it's so cleansing,
mhm.
and it just helps you to focus on other things. You don't realize how much you are bombarded with content and how it
Yep.
impacts your mental, your emotional, all that kind of stuff because it's so automatic. So yeah, it's really cool that you did that.
Yeah, thank you. And it lets me know at any point in time I can
Yep.
do it again and nothing just fell apart while I did it. So
Mhm.
team members, you and others, still keeping things alive. So
Mhm.
yeah, I enjoyed it. But I
Mhm.
wanted to ask you one other thing.
Okay.
Because, for those of you who are listening, you can't see me, but I'm feeling really cute today.
Yep, as you are. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel like you on YouTube, you can just tell me. But honestly, I found a really nice top at a store, and I usually do not do a whole lot of shopping, but I found it. I really liked it. I had to have it. I got it, and it makes me feel really good. So it got me to thinking about attire.
Okay.
So a part of real talk is finding it out how we doing, but we just want to real talk about something and
Yeah.
stuff that we wouldn't necessarily talk about with other people, but I wanted to talk about feeling good in what you wear. And
Mhm.
so I'm feeling good today like this, but I also feel really good in yoga pants and a tank top
Yeah.
with my booty sitting up.
Ow.
Ow. So I feel really good in certain things, and I'm wondering, like, what clothing or what attire style makes you feel your most confident and your most comfortable? Like they may be the same or different.
Yeah, so listen, what makes me feel comfortable, sexy is when I
Mhm.
got on me some cute leggings with some heels, honey. Like I
Hey.
wore I wore some leggings and some sandals that I had bought at to the Usher concert and a cute little shirt that
Mm-hmm.
complemented the leggings. So that just makes me feel good because I have a nice little butt. And so just to fit tight, around my butt and stuff, and I just get the sashay in when I'm walking. So that's definitely what makes me feel confident and comfortable too. But when I'm at home,
Yeah.
I take, everything off and I just have on like a little house dress that I walk around in. It's usually fitted like a fitted house dress, but it just makes me feel comfortable, but then also
Mm-hmm.
sexy too when I walk past the mirror. But it's
Yeah.
just I lounge around in at the house. Yep.
I love that. I love that heels make you feel confident. Can I be honest? Heels
Yeah.
make me feel so uncomfortable. I'm
That's
like,
it.
who created them and why? Like, I don't understand. A man created heels.
Yeah, probably so, because usually the men like them. Yep.
Yes, invented them. I'm just guessing,
Yeah.
and I don't like them. And I'm so on the opposite side of the spectrum. Like
Yeah.
whenever I can be barefoot, I'm
I was gonna
barefoot.
say you don't be liking shoes like that anyway, so yeah.
Mm-mm, not at all. So I'm definitely not gonna go for the heels. I have done it to show someone at an event how much their event means to me or something. Like I'll start off in heels.
Right.
I'll be like, see, I did it. See,
I can see them right.
and then I'm done. I am done. So for me, like I said, I think just really pretty pieces,
Uh-huh.
pieces that speak to me. Like if I walk away from it, I'm thinking about it. I gotta go back and get it. That's how I gauge it. I'll leave it there. And if I leave and I'm like, oh no, I gotta have it, then I'll go back and get it.
Yeah.
So really cute pieces. But and I'm into a lot of boho stuff. So I like the really flamboyant kind of, well, not flamboyant, but just they flowy, the flowy
Uh,
types of over jackets, really light ones. I
yeah.
like those. I love yoga pants. And
Okay.
so I think I feel my most confident in what I am most comfortable wearing, if that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like dresses too. Dresses are,
Mm.
if I can find, especially during the summer. So I'm a summer girl. I love the sun and just
Yeah.
having a cute sundress, like a flowy one or just a colorful one, like those
Mhm.
feel vibrant too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love all summer wear. So I love being in sundresses like
Mhm.
you. In the fall, if I had to choose to layer up, because I don't love layering up.
Mhm.
But if I had to, I love that turtleneck look with a
Yeah.
nice like leather jacket and some boots. I
Yes,
like boots.
I
I
like
could
these.
do that. I could do
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah,
I I just really want to talk about that because some days, depending on what I wear, and I also think color has something to do with it too,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
depending on what I wear or what color I'm wearing, I'm like, okay, girl, you
You
all right today?
doing it right. You did that,
You
yes.
did that. You are doing that. So yeah, real talk, clothes matter.
Mhm.
And if you decide you like something, that's all that matters. That's what I
Right,
think. I think, it shouldn't be dictated by what someone else does. And I work in the world of HR and so of human resources. And so really, unless you are too revealing, then most people should not be talking about what you wear anyway,
That
because
part.
you can end up in the EEO office.
Right.
So
'Cause that's a
yeah,
complaint. Yes.
it's a complaint. So that was fun. I got to hear about Usher. I got to tell you about my social media fast.
Yes.
And we got to talk about clothes. I don't ever do that. So that was cool.
Good
We
stuff.
want to move from up here to just go on and dive in the water, get on the diving board, and take the leap. In Real Women, we love to talk about topics that allow us to think and feel in a different way than maybe we get the opportunity to in most spaces. And we call this a deep dive because it's usually something that means something to us or really matters maybe to women or people in general. And it's probably a topic we have covered in Real Women. And sister, I want to talk about judgment.
Mm-mm.
I
All
do.
right.
I
All
do.
right. Let's get into it.
We get into it because um I come from a very religious, strict background.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible says, judge ye not, lest ye be judged.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But we didn't read that part, or we didn't pay attention to
Nope.
that part, because we pay more attention to try the spirit by the spirit, and that kind of stuff means I get to judge.
Yeah.
And so I had to think for myself, having come from a background where I got to say, you're godly, you're ungodly, you going to heaven, you going to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was something that was practiced in my life, and I was exposed to being on the other side of that and being judged and knowing how bad that makes me feel,
Yep.
and trying to figure out, like, what does that dynamic look like in my life? Am I supposed to? What is it? So Real Women is based on the value of not judging others and
Right.
really just allowing others to be free to express themselves, because we believe that as you are doing that, no matter what's coming up for you, you are growing from that. You're going to move forward because what's in you is going to help moderate and manage that for you, instead of me imposing upon you what I think is right or wrong about what you said or did, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because I've gone all the way to that side, sometimes I wonder to myself, okay, so is it ever appropriate? Is judging ever appropriate? And so I'm gonna start by asking you that. Do you feel like it's ever appropriate? I even looked up a definition, so I'm gonna find that while you start
Mm-hmm.
thinking and sharing. What do you think?
When I think about judgment, and you mentioned you've been judged before, so you know how it feels.
Mm-hmm.
I have been guilty of a lot of self-judgment, so I know how
Mm-hmm.
that feels. And I just can't, off the top of my head, think of an instance where outside of the court system where it would be appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Like because it takes the focus. If I'm judging someone else, it takes the focus off of me and it puts them on them. It makes me critical of them and it almost sets me above them. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how it would be beneficial to do it. Do I do it? Yeah, I do. I
Mm-hmm.
have,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not, I don't think it's healthy when I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
outside the court system, I don't see how it would be that.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned the court system, because that's a formal way set up
Mm-hmm.
for order and for those who either volunteer to be a part of the system by being the judge, being the lawyer, being a part of the jury, um, but for and as a society, we have kind of agreed that this is the way that we're going to process wrongdoing and figure out innocent or guilty,
Mm-hmm.
versus I'm living my life
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and minding my business.
Right.
And because of something I am saying or doing or being out in the world,
Mhm.
someone else has something to say about it, which is a whole nother reason why social media can kick rocks for me. And
Like,
I,
seriously.
you know what I'm saying?
Seriously, even so, when you mentioned about your fast, like when you're talking to us in the sister circle that we have in the
Mhm.
chat, I noticed that I was becoming irritated by social
Mhm.
media too. So I'll go on
Mhm.
there, I'll make the posts, that I need to post, and then I get off because the number of opinions that are on social media about someone else that people have no idea who they are, they have no insight to their lives. Just
Mm-mm.
gets on my nerves, and it's like, who are you? You don't know these people,
You
so it's just
don't know them.
I don't. I'm noticing how less I engage on social media or scroll through because I'm just kind of tired, like you're saying, over it. Because it's just too much noise. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Such a good word for it. Noise. That's what it feels like. If and I'm this is going to be a strong word or term, but I'm still going to use it because it's exactly how it's been feeling to me.
yeah,
It feels like violence to my spirit, to my
yes,
soul. Like it feels like something is kind of attacking, like it, and nobody's physically doing anything, but when I read it, it feels like an assault. And
yeah,
so, and they're not even talking about me yet. I've had that. I've been judged as well.
mhm,
But even just seeing it out in the world, and it's exactly what you said. Y'all don't know them. Like, why
mhm,
would you put your and if we dared to know anything about you and judge you, you would
right,
be up in arms. Like,
yeah,
so it's a
yeah,
lot. I
it's a
just
lot.
looked up judgment is, and this is just one definition, there are millions, but
Mhm,
the mental act of evaluation through comparison or contrast. Now, that's interesting to me
mhm,
because I hadn't thought of comparison or contrast with judgment before, but if you are judging, you are saying there is a right,
yes,
there is a right way to
yes,
think, do, or be. And
mhm,
I'm saying you're not doing it right,
right,
or even I'm saying you are doing it right. I'm going through the mental activity of evaluating whether you are right or wrong, up against a standard that someone has imposed and I receive and accept, or that I have imposed upon you, right?
yeah. Yes. And like we were talking about before in a previous episode about the comparison trap or
Mhm.
just comparing, that's where I know for me, the judgment comes, the self judgment, because I am looking at something or I have this perceived notion about how something should go. And then
Yeah.
I judge myself based on this standard that is usually unrealistic. And then it
Mhm.
creates self judgment and condemnation. So, that I can understand that comparison because that's what I do internally when I am judging myself.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. And I think if we see it that way, if
Yeah.
we flip it and say to ourselves, you know how it feels when you judge yourself. It does
Mhm.
not feel good. There's an
Yeah.
exercise in Real Women. We're giving y'all all the Real Women nuggets. There's an exercise a long time ago I did in a circle where it was a sister that I thought could handle it. So I was like, "Are you okay? Can you handle it?" And she was like, "Sure." So she sat down and I had her write out at another space. I'm getting this, I think I got it right. Anyway, I had her write out some things that she would normally say to herself, like say
Mhm.
about herself, just thoughts that
Yep.
she would think about herself. And so what I did was I read them out loud in front of everybody while she
Mhm.
was sitting there to her.
Mm.
And it felt like I was killing her spirit. Like, I mean, you're not good enough. Nobody loves you. I mean, it was just all these things that this internal talk. But
Yeah.
to hear it said out loud from somebody else, it felt so harmful. So
Mhm.
if we can compare the two, even to say, just as it is violence to yourself to speak negatively to yourself, it is just as, if not just as, I'm gonna say
Yeah.
just as violent to
Mhm.
to spew that on someone else, to
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it is just, I mean, if you want to lift someone up, then sure, say some positive things, but there's got to be. So here's my last thought about this. Is
Mhm.
there an alternative to judgment? Like what? Because we got to have a gauge of some sort to
Mhm.
decide who to deal with and who not, who to work
Mhm.
with and who not, who to
Mhm.
be in a relationship with and who not, what job to take and when it's time to quit. Like there are standards of some sort. And so what are we doing if we are not judging? What is the alternative? Did you get where I'm going?
Yeah. So the question that came up before you asked that question was, why do we judge?
Mhm,
So I
mhm.
think we would have to first ask ourselves, why am I judging this person?
Yeah,
Like, what am I
yeah,
trying to get from it? Because I think understanding the why will help us to understand why we do it, what we're gaining from it or what we're doing it for, and then push us to the
an
alternative,
alternative.
which is being more
Mhm.
open,
That's
which is
good,
being more
Shavon.
understanding and compassionate. We talked about
Mhm.
that before, and just empathetic about people's situation. We don't know what people are going through. And
Yeah.
so when we look at it from a more compassionate, empathetic lens, then that opens us up to put ourselves in other people's shoes, like one of our next segment is about. So I think
Mhm.
that's the alternative to judgment: empathy and compassion.
Ooh, that's so good. That's so good. And I think there's got to be a way for us to say, well, let me just pause. Why do I judge? Why
Yeah.
in the moment when I'm judging, why am I doing it? Where is it coming from? Is it
Yeah.
coming out of inadequacy that I'm feeling? And so
Yeah.
I've got to impose some judgment on them to make myself feel better.
Mhm.
Is it what I've adopted and adapted from somewhere? And
Yeah.
so I have a thought process that I'm imposing on someone else that might not even be their thought process or their ideology, but
Mhm.
I'm imposing it on them. So I just needed to sit with that for a second because
Mhm.
that's going to help me as I process what in those moments when I'm
Right.
compelled to judge, because we all
Exactly.
are, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but I did want to say for me, in the moments when I have to make decisions,
Yes.
so I have to decide whether to be in a relationship or not. I
Mhm.
think more than I make it about the other person and what
Mhm.
they have or what they don't have, what they do or what they don't do, I figure out what works and what does not work for me. And
Right.
I think that connects to empathy in
Mhm.
in such that I'm not even going to put this on you because this is not necessarily your stuff. I
Mhm.
need to make a decision about whether to be in relationship with you because for me, I need this, this, and this, and I'm not getting this, this, and this in this friendship or in this relationship. Or when it comes to a job or environment, I choose not to be in this space because this is what I need.
Mhm.
I feel like that puts it away from me judging you
Mhm.
and even imposing me on you. This is all about me now and what I need or what I don't need.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact word for that, but it feels better to turn inward
Yeah.
and figure out in my space, because I've had to do this, I have had to say, in my space, my sphere, my community, my close circle, I choose to have these folks and not have these folks. And
Mhm.
it's because of what works for me, what feels good, what is good for me, and
Mhm.
what is good to me.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Does that
It
make
makes
sense?
Yeah, it makes me think of assessing the situation or assessing
Mhm,
my circumstances so that I
mhm,
can make a choice or decide to do something. I feel
mhm,
like assessments sound less harsh than judge,
mhm.
because it is more about I'm assessing something for my own personal, situation, as opposed to I am judging you because I am taking the focus off of me and looking at you, you know?
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm. You just
Mm.
made me think about, in relationships, and I'm trying to learn this. My husband would laugh, but I really am trying to learn this. But in relationships, it is more helpful when you are expressing an issue with someone
Mhm.
rather than say you did this and you did that,
Yeah.
and you are so this and you are so that, that this is how it made me feel,
Yes, yes.
that this is what happened and this is how it made me feel. It really does shift the conversation from you
Mhm.
to this is about what I need,
Yeah.
and I need to express myself about what my needs and my wants are. I think
Mhm.
that's different than judgment,
Yeah.
and useful. Yeah.
Because it takes the attacking out of it. I am,
Yeah.
from my perspective, I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying, when you did this, it made me feel this. I think they call it the sandwich, how you approach it,
Mhm.
sandwich
Mhm.
analogy.
Mhm.
So it puts the onus on you to say, these are my feelings,
Mhm.
and then we can move from there, as opposed to you did this, and it's just all pointing the finger. That can put anybody on the defense, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, y'all, we don't want to judge. We have based literally our values are based in Real Women on not judging,
Mhm.
because that's when you're free to grow. When you feel like you're not being judged, you're free to grow and be who you are and be who you're becoming, you
Yeah.
know?
And I
Oh,
say one
yeah.
last thing about that. When you're talking
Please.
about Real Women, that's really where that muscle has been developed for me in Real Women.
Mhm.
And we hear all the time the benefit of not being judged. We hear women talk about, this is just such a safe space, and we
Mhm.
get to talk and share, and nobody's judging me. We've heard that over and over. And it's true, because in that
Yeah.
space, we just want you to be yourself. And I know what that feels like, just being able to be myself and giving me room to grow, like you said. And so I've just seen the benefits of not doing it. So even if I do catch myself judging, it's like, okay, I don't stay there long. I'll say that,
Yeah.
because like, I understand that the muscle is being developed, and I know what that does to other people and also to myself. So it's not something
Mhm.
that I want to continue to practice.
Yeah.
Just
And
other
I,
people.
and
Yeah.
to your point just now that you made about yourself, I would say Real Women isn't even perfect at it, but because we speak it and we example it and we talk about it so much,
Yeah.
that when we're even on the borderline of judgment, somebody's going to call it out. Somebody, I
Exactly.
remember at the intensive this past intensive, somebody was like, so I'm beginning to feel a little like somebody's judging here, because y'all over there and y'all over there, and this little
Uh-huh.
group is over here, and I
Yep.
don't appreciate, and we're like, nope, you right.
Exactly.
We need to fix that. So
Yep.
it's self-awareness,
Mhm.
literally, whether it's an individual, for us Real Women as a whole, but it's
Mhm.
self-awareness, just really putting yourself constantly in someone else's shoes. Nice segue. Um, putting yourself in someone else's shoes so that you can be more empathetic. It's like what you said. I think
Yep.
that's the alternative. That was
Absolutely.
good. That was good.
Good.
Woo! Okay, so y'all, that was a deep dive. We took a minute for that one too. I enjoyed that.
Mhm.
We kind of come up from from out of the deep dive, and then our third segment is so much fun for me. Put myself in her shoes. And so far it's been a her. We might end up making it a put myself in his shoes at some point, but
Right.
for now, for now, put myself in her shoes. And since I'm driving, Shavon, I don't know
Uh-huh.
what is on me about this social media and all of these things that are happening in the world.
That's all
But
right.
yeah, it's probably because of my fast, right? A
Yep.
lot of that has caused me to make some personal decisions, not to
Yep.
judge, but
Uh-huh.
to make personal decisions.
Mhm.
And so I want to talk about reality TV.
Okay.
Look at me. So I don't watch it a lot. There are some shows that I do watch. My guilty pleasure is Housewives of Potomac.
Mhm.
I do watch it every episode. I may
Okay.
get it late, but I end up watching the whole season at some point in time, just because they're local, and I'm like, oh, what she do? What she say? So but I really can't say I watch any others on a regular basis. And I believe there are more shows now out here than
So,
ever, like countless shows.
uh,
I think they do it because it's cheaper to do it, it's
right.
unscripted, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm on this kick of thinking about all of these external things that affect us.
Uh-huh.
And I've been thinking about how the women on these shows, no one in particular, but especially Black women, have chosen to get on these shows as a quick way to earn money or notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that would be my guess. I have not talked to anyone individually to ask, are there other reasons? But I would think they get paid to do it,
Yep.
and they gain some notoriety from doing it. They become, well known, when they're highly recognized.
Right.
So I guess I'm wondering, is it worth it? And let me give some context. I
Mm-hmm.
looked it up, and the lesser known cast members can make like $40,000 to $75,000 a year. But if you become a principal, someone like a Nene Leaks or someone
Yeah.
like that, then you can make as much as $500,000 to $5 million a year. Like some of them
Mm.
are in those housewives. Most of them that are well known are into a million, a couple million a year
Jeez.
for being on these shows, being, some version of themselves, right?
Mm. Mm-mm.
So here's my question. Putting yourself in her shoes, if you were guaranteed to make at least a million, that's just bottom line. If you were
Mhm.
guaranteed to make $1 million a year for being on one of these reality shows that will produce, and it'll be produced and edited to the point where they get the juiciest and most salacious episodes that they can get. You might be saying, I hate ice cream, and they might splice it to say, I hate her, or something. They get to splice it however they want, right? And it might tempt you to even say, or they might create scenarios that would tempt you to say or do some things that you would consider controversial, they would consider controversial, maybe you would not normally do it, but you could earn this $1 million a year guaranteed. Would you do it?
No, no.
You said no.
I can't. It sounds amazing. Like having $1
Mhm.
million a year, I would love that.
Yeah.
But at what cost
Mhm.
would it come? And I
Mhm.
just, at this stage in my life, my big
Mhm.
45-year-old self,
Mhm.
I am not interested in anything that disrupts my peace. And that's just not me. I'm not messy like that. I want to have fun. I don't want to sit up here and talk about you. I
Right.
want to have fun. If it's not consisting of, hey, let's go to the Usher concert, and that kind of stuff, which don't
Mhm.
sell because it's no
Mhm.
drama. I don't desire to participate in that because I don't see how that would align with who I am and what I'm purposed to do. Like that, real women, like we create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. What does that have to do with creating drama on TV? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
wouldn't be able to reconcile who I am, what I believe my purpose is, and doing something like that. Would it be tempting? Heck yeah, because that's a lot of money. I don't got $1 million every year. But at
Right.
the same time, I just wouldn't desire. There's got to be another way. If you
Yeah.
willing to give me $1 million for this, somebody willing to give me $2 million to do something that aligns with me. So that's how I
Yeah.
feel.
Oh, that's great. That's great thought process. So let me tell you why I put it up here.
Real talk, sister. Yep.
So just real talk, in this putting myself in her shoes, I
Uh-huh.
have been in the shoes of being offered to be on a reality type show.
Okay.
And so, um, shout out to Netflix and Voices of Fire.
Yep.
Um, my mother and I were able to participate in a filming, and we really weren't sure when we auditioned what we were auditioning for. But as time went on and we went through the process and we were, accepted for this step and then this next step, we realized that we were in this reality entertainment show that
Mm.
was a bit of a competition to see who would make this choir and who wouldn't.
Mhm.
And so, and we were not getting paid for this opportunity. So for me, it was exposure, and
Mhm.
for my mother, it was supporting me, I think,
Yeah.
initially. But because it was centered around our local area, it was also this wonderful opportunity to spread the gospel for her. She talked about that in the episode where we were featured. Just really, it was her opportunity to talk about her love of gospel music.
Yep.
But through that process, because we were filmed, my mother and I individually were filmed,
Mhm.
I mean, 10 times more than we were actually shown. They really do edit a lot to tell a story. And
Okay.
so the storyline that we were a part of didn't make, the final cut a lot, but they valued us enough to show our audition. But when I tell you, for the few weeks that we were filming, we were nervous as heck about everything we said and did, because we just did not know. And the producers were amazing. Like,
Mm.
as amazing as Pharrell Williams seems on any stage that he's on,
Mhm.
he picked people who were just as amazing to produce the show. Well, he produced it to be the directors of the show, and it was just, but during it, you don't know that, right? You just don't know what's going to happen. And they were comforting, they were supportive. They were like, we won't, I promise, we don't do that, we don't do that.
Yeah.
But it was still one of those competition shows where he was like, okay, somebody's not going to make the cut.
Right.
And it was nerve-wracking to
Mm.
think. I remember my mother saying one time, I hope they don't use that, that kind of,
Because you just never know. Right.
you
Right.
just never know.
Uh-huh.
So I remember my nerves about that, and I wasn't even getting paid for it, and didn't. I was a part of a group,
Uh-huh.
but decided to do it, and I have to say, because of that experience,
Mhm.
that turned out positively,
Yes.
even though it could have been another way.
Yep.
I would ask more questions before I said no.
Okay. I got some things I need to ask y'all now.
Need to know. So, am I gonna be in a room alone with any means? If
Right.
because I don't want to be in a room with alone, and you're not gonna be able to accuse me of nothing like that. So I would ask a lot of questions,
Uh-huh.
because I think I would hope that I could maintain some level of decorum where they couldn't splice it real negative for me,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
I don't know, sister. I think I might. I don't know. I would have some questions to ask. That's all I'm saying.
Consider. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think before, if I was just seeing it and not having seen, because it's all about the aim of the show,
Right.
right?
Right.
So to really get an understanding of the aim of the show,
Mhm.
because there have been some really positive reality shows out here,
Yeah.
that some of the HGTV stuff is
Right.
just all reality stuff, the baking
Yeah.
shows, the this, the that.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was fun. I just wanted to
You would have to judge or assess whether that would be for you or not. Yeah.
I have no judgment for them, putting myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
I understand the desire
Mhm.
for money and notoriety. I do.
Right.
I more than understand that. I have been there.
Mhm.
I still don't mind money and some level of notoriety for the sake of impact and influence.
Right.
So I get it.
Uh-huh.
And then you just have to decide, I think, at the end of the day, what do I want my legacy to be?
Right.
Because this is recorded and it is findable years later.
Absolutely.
That's the world we live in.
Yep.
And so 10 years from now, will it still represent me, or will I be okay with the fact that it no longer represents who I am?
Exactly.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot to take a risk on.
It's a
So
lot to think about.
thank
Yeah.
you, sister. That was fun.
That's good.
We have really talked. We are at the end at our last segment. Look at
It
us.
always goes by so fast. Like, what?
It does. It
Mhm.
does. I guess so y'all, with this last segment, it's called Spiritual Nugget. And just find a space from what we've talked about to share something that we can leave with, maybe just a thought, something that we can consider as we are leaving this episode. And I think we did it. I think we talked throughout the whole thing. I will use a biblical reference: judge ye not,
Mm.
lest ye be judged.
Mhm.
I think it's really easy to deflect
Yes. Yep.
and to talk about others so that we don't have to focus on ourselves.
Mhm.
The real work comes in focusing back in on who we are and why we even care to judge, why we even have an opinion that needs to be expressed. Um, we literally started by talking about attire. So, let people be, man. Let them be. I remember in church, we used to judge people by how high and low and the skirt was. And we didn't really come as you are. Literally in my life, I want you to come as you are.
Yes.
In
Yes.
my life, I
Mhm.
want you to come as you are. And then that gives me the opportunity to decide if we mesh. But if
Yes.
you don't if you don't come as you are, or if I put you in the box that I need you to be in, that's not going to last because you're going to be somebody else, and that you can't be somebody else forever. You going to come out sooner or later.
For sure.
For sure, right? Or I'm going to realize, I can't live like this. So I really believe that we as a culture, we as a society, and as individuals,
Mhm.
we judge you not, lest you be judged.
To be judged. That is
Mhm.
so, it's simple and profound, right?
Mhm.
Like, simple as that. Judge ye not unless you want to be judged. You want to be judged?
Mhm.
You don't like how that feels? No? Okay. Well, stop judging.
Stop judging. Stop judging. Make
Yeah.
decisions that work for your life
Yeah.
and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Selah. This has
Say
been a good episode.
good stuff.
Mm.
Love
Well,
it.
y'all, thank you so much for joining us. We are real women, and what?
And real women talk.
Take care, y'all.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.